The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to McStabber Studios' Broken Tales, a tale within a tale. I am, of course, the narrator tonight, Shanky McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber, and I am playing Sherazad, the Weaver of Tales.
And I'm Callie Salvo, and I am playing the Immortal.
I'm House, and I play the Knight with 100 Heads.
I'm Emmy Lufu. I'm playing Baba Yaga, the Child Witch.
Hello, I'm Maddox, and I play the astonishing Pied Piper without a name.
So, when we were with this group of fairy tales last week, it started off, they had woke up in a land they didn't recognize, nor do they remember how they got there. Escorted to a king and queen that refused to speak, could only speak to a man who said his name was the butler, or would only say he was the butler, and tasked with finding the princess who had disappeared. It was a strange little place, though. Things seemed to have been decaying, falling apart, and dying. But off they went, had nothing else to do, nowhere else to go. They noticed that the sky, the sun wasn't moving, the clouds weren't moving, almost as if it was caught in a moment of time. The townsfolk couldn't remember much of the past other than the princess was gone, and they had seen her ride off on a giant moose into the forest. Heading into this forest, Baba Yaga used her map and her magic to locate somewhere in the center where the girl might have gone, into a pool that was only marked the pool. While wandering this forest, they found the remains of a dead knight. Had an encounter, a very sad moose. A moose that had died after leading the princess to a pool, he said, in the center of this forest. And that was when the world had changed. And he explained to you all the only way to go after her is to gather up 2 of her items, the gifts that she had given to the denizens of the forest. You must retrieve them. One from the fairies. Number 2 was from a forest spirit. And only if you can retrieve those back will you be able to approach the pool to find out where she was and what had happened. And as we're opening up, you all have your decision to make. You have to decide, do you go to the center of the swamp where you've been told you will find the fairies? Or will you go to another part of the forest where you've been told you will find the forest spirit? The moose who gave you that, as he had said before, he has trouble staying in one place for very long. And as the mist came and the fog come deeper, he departed with the fog, taking the moths that fluttered around him with him, leaving you alone in the dark forest. It still doesn't feel right.
Oh, we were moving.
But where? To which one are you going to?
I am inclined towards the fairies first.
Yes, we at least know that they're fairies. This other thing, I'd like to be more aware before we get there.
I have something of a basic strategy for this, but whether it works is uncertain. If that also helps stir confidence.
Fairies like to bargain, do they not?
Truly, I wasn't even going to go that far. With luck, I was hoping we wouldn't speak to them.
Well, it is always good to know what we are going up against.
And a spirit of the wood is ill-defined.
Indeed.
Ordog, do you know anything about fairies?
Oh. Well, they're annoying little shits. Always fluttering around, playing their damn music, pranks. Can't say I like them that much. They do make a satisfying squish when under my hooves. The hardest part I found is managing to get one under your hoof. I did hear of a kid once who had a book that he used that he would go out in the garden and catch fairies and impress them like flowers. It was a whole book of pressed fairies. An odd thing.
Herazade, is that a story you're familiar with?
Indeed it is. It is
Twisted.
truly a fairy tale.
Did you say fairy tale? Incredible. Sorry.
God damn it, I can't be breaking character like this. It's a professional stream.
You're welcome.
It's very difficult to hear in this thing, so I had to make sure.
Yes, I said a fairy tale.
I will allow it because it's your birthday, everybody.
Damn right you will.
Anyway, the fairies. Okay, yeah, I am good with the fairies. Ordog, I will do my best to allow you to squish a fairy or make it possible for you to squish a fairy.
No, if they're in a swamp, it might be a little more difficult.
I would think the swamp would make squishy easier.
No, they just get pushed under the water. You don't hear that squish. You don't get that satisfying. I mean, is that the mud or is it the fairy? You see, that's.
Oh, so it's only satisfying to you if it's specifically the fairies.
Look, they like to play pranks, okay?
They are fae, yes.
I don't like it. Bobby, are you going to ride on my back again?
Yes.
Perfect. Then let's
I'm
go
up.
see the fairies.
The swamps are shrouded in thin veils of a ghostly mist. The moon appears to crack and bleed into the sky, and the faint stars die out one by one as you travel deeper into this nocturnal realm. There is a light in the distance, a glow that is reflected in the swamps and still water. The light comes from a small golden crown, and all around many silhouettes dance as if enthralled by its light. Fairies look like pale women with long hair. They glide, dance, and writhe in the air as if adrift in an invisible current. They are dreamlike, ethereal, but their bodies meet, touch, and brush against each other or sometimes through each other. Their eyes are shut and they seem to moan with pleasure as they bask in the light that shines from the golden crown. Not far away, sitting in the damp mud, are the bodies of all those who have drowned here over the centuries. They have emerged from the earth, awakened from the dead, to watch the fairies dance. They sit motionless, observing the show with dull eyes and empty eye sockets.
You don't know when the moon changed. Because before, there was sunlight. But now, the moon is in the sky. You never saw the sun set. You never saw the moon rise. But it's there. Here you are trapped in the eternal darkness of this swamp. As the fairies dance around, they don't pay you any heed. Dancing around this crown, shedding light upon them.
I'll approach the fairies and see if I can get one's attention to ask it where the crown came from.
As you approach the fairy, it doesn't pay you any mind at all. There's dozens of them here. Not a one acknowledge your presence. They continue to dance and flit. and eerie music settles through the place. Now, I will point out, if you wish to get closer to the crown, the only way to it.
Is through the dead people?
No, it's over a stone track, series of stones that almost lead, you can try to hop, but I will say all the stones, they're slimy, wet. The dead are all around the pathway leading to it. The dark brackish water, too.
Fortunately, I am friends with a horse who can fly and pass through walls. Should this be a problem?
Is it? We'll see. You're going to expect me to fly over that.
Before we do that,
go right ahead. No, go ahead.
Before we do that, I want to try and get, since they're circling around the crown, I want to try and get between one of the fairies and the crown.
You can find.
See what.
There's some circling outside the stone path up onto the drier part of land where you are. When you block one, it stops dancing. And it just looks at you. Huh?
Hello.
Have you come to see us dance?
I've come to learn about this crown.
Oh, there was a human princess who came through here, and she gave us this crown. It's as bright as a small sun, so that we would let her pass.
Why wouldn't you have let her pass without giving something up?
Now, that is the rules here. We do not let anyone cross without a gift. Don't you see our audience? And it kind of waves. And then it notices that the others are dancing, and it spins around you and resumes the dance.
I must admit, I've seen worse captive audiences.
I'm looking at the dead. Are any of them doing anything other than just staring blankly?
All of them are staring blankly, watching the fairies.
Even when the one stopped dancing?
Yep. Their attention has not left the group of fairies. The ones that are that are lining the path in the water beside it are looking out towards the fairies. Some are looking in towards the crown because there's more fairies dancing in closer in. But their heads don't move. Their undead bodies don't move.
Sherazade just says, kind of quietly, these fairies have the dead enthralled.
My guess is they weren't dead when they started watching.
Perhaps.
Could I distract the fairies while someone grabs the crown?
I mean, technically, I can't see them, so I could try and get the crown.
I want to ask Hugin and Moonin if they know of anything I could trade, or if there's anything I could do that would make them want to give up the crown.
You must pay your soma. It's a new scene.
Yep.
Moonin looks at you. Fairies are funny things. They could forget they even have the crown. But I doubt it here. They won't part with it. They revel in the light.
The light?
As I had said before, this crown is shining a light on the whole group of fairies.
Yeah.
Roughly how many fairies were there? Roughly how many fairies were there again?
Dozens.
Dozens. Cool.
It's hard to tell
Hey,
because
narrator.
they flit in and out of each other. They flit out of existence and pop back in. They're fairies. They're ethereal in many ways. Yes, Baba Yaga.
Can I use the third power under my dark ego to summon darkness?
You can try it.
Okay, I'd like to try it.
As the Baba Yaga casts anti-flashbang.
So you're going to use your evil witch. You're going to have to activate it, you're going to have to scare ordinary people or dispense punishment first.
Are there any animals nearby?
No, just the dead. And the fairies.
Do they count as ordinary people?
No. You're in a tight spot here with that particular descriptor. It's not going to help you with this one, is it?
No, guess not.
Do any of us count as ordinary people?
No, you are fairy tales made flesh.
I have an idea, but I don't know if it's appropriate now.
Yes.
I could use my dark ego. I could spend 2 story tokens. One to create the servant girl who does the sword dance in the story of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves to be the distraction. And also the other story token can be to create one of the thieves to steal the crown.
Now, I will say, if you're using your dark ego for that, it won't be able to get to the crown itself, because as it gets close to the crown, there will be more light than shadow there. But it will be able to operate amongst the fairies about halfway point between the edge of the fairies and the crown itself.
We need shadow. Can we make shadow? Anyone got a blanket?
I didn't really have anything planned for the actual crown. I was just going to play and then entrance the fairies into their dancing and the music so that they were so focused that they wouldn't see someone snatch it and then we just book it. That was going to be my pitch anyways.
If I'm able
could
to make
work.
it to if I'm able to make it to the crown, I could wrap it in my face covering, my scarf.
Narrator, does it seem like the light source would be smothered by actual mundane material?
It's a crown that's giving off light. If you can't see the crown, could you see the light? If a tree falls in the forest,
No one's around to hear it.
if the crown gives off light and there's no more crown, or you can't see a crown, should it be giving off light anymore?
It seems like we need at least one of us to distract and then someone else to zip in, grab it, bag it, and then we cheese it. So really, I think right now we just need to decide who's going to be on distraction duty, because it seems like we have a lot of options between all of us.
I don't think I'd be a very good distraction, but I would volunteer to go along with the knight and try and block anything that comes at him.
Okay.
I can make an oath to get and protect the crown, which will grant me some protection.
Okay. Piper, would you like to play for these Fae to possibly give them some music to dance to?
It will be so entrancing they won't notice anything else.
So you're going to play, huh?
Yes, I am using, where is it? Oh, you might hear a cat, sorry.
The cat has blessed us.
Soul music. When you play your pipes, you can spend 1 soma to sing a special melody. Choose from, and I'm choosing option number 1, imparting an emotion. I create a descriptor that represents the emotional state you wish to convey. Everybody present will receive the descriptor for the current scene. You may have to make a position check to affect opponents.
So that would give them an
plug your
extra
ears if you don't
descriptor.
want to be in trance.
Well, it makes
I don't have it.
Everybody present gets the descriptor. If you use entranced, everybody present, fairies and everyone else will get.
I did just
entranced.
realize as I read that shit. Anyone have an alternative emotion they might suggest that will distract them but not us? I could do revelry. That's something to get swept up in pretty easy, but then you all would be party animals as you're capturing a crown.
And they're already in revelry.
I know, but heightening it. I could make them sad.
Then you'd make us all sad.
Hey, I trust you guys to have more wherewithal to deal with your emotions than a bunch of fairies. But
Can I use a broom from my hut that's never far? Well, it's always in my vicinity to fly over them to the ground.
You could. There's also the horse that can fly.
Or can we just fly and try?
Are you going to attempt that?
Yes, I'll attempt that.
Okay. Well, you don't have to worry about the rocks because you're flying over them. Are you on the horse or are you using a broom? I have to ask this question.
If the horse can fly, I'll go with the. Actually, you know what? Can somebody else get on the horse and I'll take the broom and we can.
May War Dog, may I ride upon your back?
If you insist, man.
I didn't insist. I asked very nicely.
You're going to make me fly and have you on my back? Ugh.
I'm going to start charging every time you complain.
Look,
I will be incredibly wealthy.
at a minimum, he's going to owe me some sugar later, okay? I'm going to need a couple cubes of sugar as a treat because this is some bullshit.
So as I mount Ordog, I will use the bridge, my ability, the bridge, to make an oath, and I will swear to get and defend the crown for this scene, and I get 3 oath tokens that I can spend that give me different things.
For you to use your broom, I will say it's only going to cost you 1 soma, Baba Yaga, for you to fly on your broom. Nice and easy. So it's the knight with 100 heads on his flying horse and Baba Yaga on her broom moving towards the crown. As soon as you fly over where the stones begin, the fairies closest to the crown scream. There's 3 of you. Each of you have 4 fairies attack you. That is going to be rather painful, actually. You need a defense check, difficulty 7, due to the numbers of each one.
Okay, I am. Can I use my descriptor? I am a swordsman and a hussar knight with finely honed combat skills. Ordog is more than a common horse. He often saved me with his magic. Sometimes I wonder who the real hunter of the order is.
Oh, yes, I'll let you use that one, sure.
Great.
So it gives you 3 out of the 7.
I get 1 additional success check spending one of the tokens that I have.
Okay, it gives you 4.
And I will roll 5 dice.
Okay, if you get any 1s, it is a failure.
3, 3, 5, 5, 4.
So you don't take any damage. Your horse, he has 3 because he has the descriptor he can fly. He is short 4. You can't use any other descriptors with him. How many dice are you going to roll for Ordog? Orbog.
So
he has 3 successes against 7.
Sorry, just gotcha.
I'm going to move in and try and help bat some of the fairies away from Ordog.
I'll roll 3 dice. You said I needed 3, correct?
No, you need 4.
4. Then I'll roll 4 dice.
Okay.
No, I'll move in. I'm going to move in and try and help.
I thought you already had ones on you.
No, the
I
immortal
don't.
doesn't.
Oh.
It's only the knight with 100 heads,
That way I can,
Orbog, and
Grant an
Baba Yaga.
Oh, okay. Okay.
4,
because
4,
that way
5,
I can
6.
grant an additional success to
Okay.
Ordog as well.
He was fine. He rolled. I
Okay.
got.
Manages to lash out, push him aside a bit. Baba Yaga, your turn to roll. Right now,
Do my descriptors that are already activated, do I still get one?
you
Point
get
for each
3
one.
from your, I'm allowing you 3 from your from flying on the broom. Your broom is rather maneuverable. So you have 3, but you're still short 4 and you can't use another descriptor. So it's either Soma or risk the dice.
I guess I'm going to risk the dice.
I'll do the same thing then.
Well,
And
you're not
give
getting
I got
attacks.
two
You're
on.
okay, you're immortal for now.
No, I'm helping Baba.
You're going to help
using
Baba
my,
Yaga?
using my gift, the servant.
Okay, so she gets an extra success.
Yes.
So you
So
only
that gives you-
you're only short 3, Baba Yaga. Now.
Alrighty. Nope. Failed.
You failed.
I failed.
Baba Yaga, as you're trying to maneuver, your broom just isn't quite good enough. One of the fairies knocks you from it, and you land in the swampy water, where the hands of the dead begin to grasp you and pull you down. Sherazade and the astonishing Pied Piper without a name, what are you two doing while this is occurring? All the other fairies did not move in to do anything. There seems to be 12 fairies that came from around the crown. The rest of them are still dancing away.
I take out my poisoned dagger and I move forward.
Okay. Your attack, this is an action roll for you. It's not they don't have to do a defense check. You do an action roll. For you, because you're not being set upon at the moment, you only have a level of 3 to beat, which means if you've got any descriptors, you've already passed. Otherwise, you only have 1 success.
I will roll 3 for successes.
Okay.
That is a 3, 3, and a 2.
There you go. You come in there, cut away some of the fairies. I assume the ones that knocked Baba Yaga off the horse, because the other horse, are off the broom because the horse got a little higher as he was battling.
And it is a poison dagger.
Yep.
So they will die.
They die. You cut away 2 of them. And you notice, as soon as you've cut away 2 more from the crowd have turned to face the group.
Mm-hmm.
Pied Piper.
Folks, this is why it pays to read your character stuff. I have a descriptor. I am a skilled acrobat and musician. My talent is unrivaled, and the Order has chosen me for my ability to capture people's attention and stimulate their emotions. When I am in the grip of artistic inspiration, I am totally divorced from reality. The skill that is going to accompany that is skilled acrobat, which I am going to spend 1 soma as I do an incredible gymnastics display. And I'm going to use the number 2 option. You may take an object even if worn by an enemy. I'm getting that crown.
Very creative. I am going to make you roll something to do it. You've got to navigate this thing because you're not using the jump far vast distances.
I actually have to get to it.
Right. You have a 5 is your difficulty. Now you've got 3 already automatically because the acrobatic descriptor applies. You're only short 2. And if you get it, you have the crown immediately in your possession.
Fantastic. I will roll those 2.
2 dice.
Oh, you bitch. Don't go off the table.
It did.
Well, I got to re-roll that one because it off the table doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. Come on now.
Oh, but I did not get any 1s. I succeed.
With
Got close with a 2, but
astonishing maneuverability, this Pied Piper that you haven't seen do this goes into a series of somersaults and cartwheels right across the stones.
avoiding every fairy despite going in a straight line.
It almost looks like he was dancing with their movements. What are you doing with this crown that you've grabbed?
I'm immediately grabbing it and then taking my cloak to fucking smother the light.
Okay. When you smother it, suddenly all the fairies stop dancing at once, all of them. They look up at this cracked moon, seeing the state of the forest, feeling the oppressiveness. The bodies that were there begin to fade and sink back into the ground, preventing Baba Yaga from being drugged down with them because their hands went slack. And then the fairies scream in agony as they realize how much their land and themselves were corrupted. And you see them, some become dew on the ground, some are pale reflection on the swamp water. All but 3 lose their existence from the pain of realizing what they've been doing. You have killed dozens of fairies right here by taking the crown and hiding it, leaving 3 fairies and Baba Yaga getting out of the mud.
I'm nearby. I'll go over and grumbling about helpless people and whatever, and just try and pull Baba Yaga out.
Narrator, on the knight's roll, he got 2 above the opposition check. Would I get on a defensive check? Should I get some sort of increment and potentially inflict a wound per the rules?
It would have, except it's already been dealt with. The fairies died, except for 3, and they're not looking hostile.
Gotcha.
One of them even steps forward. You have freed me from the spell.
It's never good to stare at wealthy things. You get too obsessed with them.
We were not obsessed until things changed. Till the world was broken. We were trapped in our dance that we were doing around the light of it, caught in that moment. We would have been there forever, if not for you.
So you had the crown for a while before the world broke.
She gave it to us on her way through.
We have come to retrieve it to get her from the lake.
For breaking the spell on us, we will allow you passage without payment. You have paid by freeing those of us who remain.
I'm going to make my way over to the knight, and while still keeping it out of line of sight from the fairies, like, no, I don't want them seeing any light. And I'm going to just pass it off to him since he swore the oath to protect it.
I will put it under my tricorn hat, or into my tricorn hat, and pop it on my head.
Hide it under the tricorn hat. Cute. Okay.
Is there anything you can tell us about the spirit of the forest? That appears to be our next interaction.
She's a kind and beautiful thing.
But if she is corrupted like you are, or were,
I don't know what she might have become. But I do know that she is a kind and beautiful spirit. Would frequently come and sing as we danced.
It means that dealing with her now is going to be a pain.
Besides singing, does she have any other interests?
She is A forest spirit. It dances among her trees. I don't know what to tell you other than that.
No, that is helpful.
Do her trees dance with her?
Oh, no.
Good to know.
Our trees are not alive. Not here. Other parts of the forest. Everything is as corrupted as here. I wouldn't go there.
Do animals obey her?
No, she is not that kind of a spirit.
Is that
She
what-
protects the trees.
Thank you.
I ask for you to put a stop to whatever caused all this. This is unnatural.
Indeed, we are trying.
Those my kind who just died here, their spirits are trapped. Death is normally not permanent for us, but they will not rise again as long as this curse lies upon the land.
If we can find a way of remedying this, we certainly will do our best.
I do thank you.
Where can we find this spirit?
Oh, you just have to go deeper into the forest. It's actually on your way as you go deeper in. If you know where the pool is, I'm not sure.
We do.
If you head straight towards the pool, you will find her. Her territory is between us and the pool. She would have been the second place that the young princess visited.
Your generosity is appreciated.
Breaking the curse is much appreciated.
Well, we will leave you to it with whatever you have to deal with your freedom now, and we shall be on our way.
We will mourn. There's only 3 of us left here.
Well, hopefully if we're successful, that won't stay that way.
I always say bad things happen when big folk like you enter our forest. I do hope you're successful. But we shall see.
Sherazad is going to start moving.
So you
I'll
all are
follow.
heading deeper in. Immortal, please pay another soma for your Yugen and Moonin.
Narrator.
Yes.
Baba's going to need to take an interlude because she's out of so much. Or she has
I
one
was
left.
going to suggest one because we've had some folks.
So you're going to take a break on during your trip.
Mm-hmm.
That is perfectly fine.
We will take an interlude.
That is perfectly fine. So, because you're going to take an interlude, so you're aware, the story may advance and events may change slightly because you're taking time to set back. During this interlude, you can recover 1 wound or get back 2 soma automatically.
Definitely doing that one.
Now,
I'm doing the soma if I can.
Mm-hmm. You can.
I say I don't.
you
I didn't
can get back
spend
2
anything, so
soma
I'm
if you haven't
square.
taken wounds.
You can get back 2 if you haven't taken any wounds.
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't spent shit, so I'm good.
Yeah, me too. But I knew others had spent.
If you have
Right. Oh
experience,
yeah. Not complaining. But
if you have experience, you can spend 1 experience to get back 2 soma as well.
My-
For each time you
I
spend
spend
experience.
1.
So for Baba Yaga, who was down to 1 soma, she'll probably want to spend some experience to
Get her soma back.
get her soma back up.
So I get the automatic 2.
Yep.
And
And then 1
One
XP per 2 additional. Yep.
Soma here, Soma there.
then can you use your XP to get a upgrade like magic?
You can evolve one of your descriptors into a specialization for 1 XP. That will grant an additional success the first time it is used in a scene. Only the first time. So the first time you use that descriptor, you will get 4 successes, not 3.
Okay, I'm going to do that for my magic.
Okay? And now the fun part of the interlude. Each hunter here, each player can ask a question of any other hunter to learn more about their past if they wish. Sherazade, do you wish to ask one of your fellow hunters about their past?
Yes, I do. Piper,
Yeah.
whatever did happen to those children of Hamlin?
After leading them away in the middle of the night, we walked into the forest. I didn't particularly want all those children. It's too many mouths to feed. But I will admit I felt bad about leaving children to starve in the woods. So I took them to a cave. Secure, no animals inside. And then I left them with what else I had brought. A large colony of rats. I'm certain they are still there. Surviving on cooked rat. And I think there was water. I never locked them anywhere. They were free to leave, but children are often frightened of the unknown. But like hell, I was going to tell the town that. And then they arrested me. The order stayed my execution. And here I am.
Immortal, do you have a question you would like to ask one of your fellow hunters about their past? It's optional, but
I'll ask Baba Yaga, how is it you came to work with the Order? I know we were from similar areas. I'm curious how you ended up here.
They took me serious. They didn't look down on me for being a child. Or looking like a child.
it would be an interesting thing, wouldn't it? If they're the only ones who didn't look at you as a child, I guess that might make you join up with them. Knight with 100 heads, would you like to ask one of your fellow hunters a question of their past?
No, their past is their own business.
Okay. Baba Yaga, would you like to ask someone a question of their past?
I would like to ask Pied Piper why he took the children.
The town insulted me. They said, "Oh, you played a flute. Anyone could have done that. Why are we paying you?" Made a mockery of my craft. You should never stiff a musician. We tend to hold grudges.
Mm. And now we come to the astonishing Pied Piper without a name. How would you, or would you like to ask one of your fellow hunters a question of their past?
I believe I would. Liebesprechen. Storyteller.
Yes, Piper.
What did you do once you were finally free to stop telling those stories for him?
Honestly, I don't remember. I just suddenly found myself in Europe. And I used my skills against the Order and the Hunters. I was defeated. But I was forgiven. And it was made very clear to me that a dark force had clouded my mind.
Dankeschön.
You're welcome.
Narrator, I do actually have a question, if I may.
Of course.
Immortal being to immortal being. Where do you get off calling yourself the immortal?
That is not what I call myself. That is what they call me. I was here before you. They chose to call me this. It's not my name.
Then what is your name?
Lost to time.
Lost to time. Okay. I will call
We
you
shall
that from now on.
We shall call him Loss for short.
And that will conclude your interlude as you've gathered up and recuperated. So you are heading further into the forest.
Mhm. Oh, sorry. I missed my cue.
Oh, yes, you did.
This area of the forest is even darker than any you have been through so far. The woods are deep, dark, and full of evil shadows. You come across giant boulders entirely covered in dense moss and bearded lichens hanging from the tree branches, with the cold wind whipping through the foliage. On the ground you see a streak of blood and slime, as if forming a gloomy path that guides your steps.
As you've entered this part of the forest, you all can spot the tracks left behind by something. There's a trail of blood and slime on the ground, heading off to the side of the path a bit. Easily followable if you choose to. But if you don't, well, you won't encounter the nymph.
I can lead if you'd all prefer.
Onwards, Herr.
I will draw my sword and my gun and proceed.
As you're heading off to the side,
I will take up the rear.
you hear it coming. Don't know where at first, but it's an odd sound. It's an odd squish in some ways. And then this creature comes around the corner. You can tell once it was a woman. It's still vaguely feminine, though the skin is now spongy, slimy. Teeth are rotted. It's immense in size now. It's actually rather repulsive to look at. And wrapped around its head is a dirty piece of cloth.
The dress.
And as you see it, its head cocks to the side. Am I not beautiful and graceful now? I'm so lovely, so lovely. And hungry.
Yeah, at that I'm going to take a step backwards.
And it begins to move towards you.
I'll step forward Would you like to dance, Spirit?
I do not dance, but will you sing with me? Come sing. And its horribly misshapen mouth opens wide, and you can smell the rot coming from within. Are you planning to attack it?
No, I was going to just move towards it and see what it did if I made myself the target.
Give me a defense check then. This is a level 7 threat as well.
Ooh.
It's been nothing but those.
Well, no, up until now, you hadn't had a 7, really. Oh, Baba Yaga did for doing some kind of impossible shit with her magic, but other than that. So, do you have a descriptor you wish to use? I mean, you've got several, actually.
Yes, I do. Does the descriptor, the order uses my power for their own purposes, and I've had to become skilled at understanding and supporting the needs of my allies as a result? Would that apply to me trying to...
I don't think that would help you with that. I would let you use your body as but a tool, because even if she attacks you, it won't kill you.
That's fair. That works. I'll use that one.
So that gives you 3. You're still short 4, though.
I'll take the risk and just roll.
How many dice?
4.
Okay.
Success.
As it goes to bite you, how do you deal with that? I'm going to let you describe. Do you lash out? Do you injure her in the process, or do you just skip out of her reach?
I will just move aside. Unperturbed, not worried.
You don't take a wound, though she narrowly bites you with her hulking form.
Is that all you have?
No. But aren't I pretty? Don't you want to hear me sing? What is everyone else doing?
What a fucking question.
I know, because I have ideas, but I don't know how to make them work.
Then what we will do right here, we will go to break.
Okay.
We will go to break. We shall be back in 10 minutes, everybody.
I have ideas.
Please enjoy the break while these players try to figure out how they're going to deal with
This.
She has a name.
What
How are you going to deal with Holder?
Holder?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We'll learn it if she doesn't kill us.
Yeah.
Or we'll see. See you in 10 minutes, everybody. And welcome back. Before the break, well, they had gone to see the fairies who had a crown. Rather than fight them, they stole the crown through some interesting acrobatics from the astonishing Pied Piper. But now they're in Holdor's part, not Hodor, that's totally different. Holdor's part of the forest. And she is a beautiful thing with her spongy skin and slime and breath of rot, with this tattered dress wrapped around her eyes.
Spirit, do you have a name?
I am the Holder. I am beautiful, am I not?
Indeed you are, Holder. However, if you wish to sing for us and put on a performance, Sherazade takes out a beautiful golden comb that sparkles. It even has some gems encrusted into it. Would you allow me to make sure that your hair is lustrous and shining to accentuate your beauty?
And her head cocks for a second. But I am already beautiful. And the arm lashes out at the immortal, one of her big monstrous arms. Defense check again, Immortal.
Please.
All right.
And I'm going to use my descriptor
Okay.
of I know the delicate art of flattery, and I know how to best compliment others to make them feel good.
You can try. It's difficulty, of course, 7 still.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives you a base of 3. Remember, because Shahrazad's trying to talk to her, that doesn't mean
She can't still attack.
she can't still try to lash out.
Okay.
But only one arm. She's going to
Can-
puny god the
Can
immortal.
I spend Soma to get successes?
Yes, you can. 1 soma per success. It's
I'll
painful.
spend
All right.
2.
Okay.
Would
Do
the
I
immortal
still get my descriptor for the I'm just not carrying using my body as a
Oh, yeah.
tool? Okay.
Oh, you can
So I
pretty much
need
use that one in
4.
pretty much every combat. Anything's trying to
Yeah.
attack you.
And that's a 3 and a 4. I got my successes.
Okay. Let's see what the immortal
I
does.
failed.
You failed. The arm lashes out, slams you into a tree. Since you are the immortal, and it says to let you describe what happens to you, you're going to take 1 wound. But please tell me what this giant arm does as it slams you against a tree.
So as I fly away from her and slam into the tree, a branch that was sticking out of the tree slams into the side of my stomach and comes out the front. And there you see a little bit of what's the word?
Viscera?
Viscera. There you go. Fling out as the branch comes through.
So you can mark for your wound descriptor. We'll go disemboweled. I think that works well for you.
But he's immortal.
But this old man, yeah, he's been disemboweled, but I don't think he even blinks an eye at that it happened.
Nope.
Probably not the first time.
And I will activate my dark ego by using my indifference to pain or death
Okay.
and just wrench myself off that branch and start walking back towards her to make sure I'm the target and or in the way if anything needs to happen.
And though you've been with this old man the whole time, you didn't realize. Everyone here can plainly see he doesn't care about pain or wounds or injuries at all. He doesn't even wince from this branch or pulling himself off it. He pulls off it like you all walk. I'm already beautiful.
You are, but let us have your hand.
Come, brush, and her arms come out towards you.
Have a seat. It is hard to reach you. I am not as tall as you.
And her lumbering form sits down. It's still pretty tall.
Lean forward for me, please.
Give me a defense check.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
7.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have for a descriptor to defend yourself? Because as she leaned forward, she actually leaps forward at you.
Okay. So with that, I'm going to activate my dark ego.
Okay.
'Cause we are in a dark part of the forest now.
Yes, you are.
My stories become reality. Shadows, those ubiquitous reflections of reality, can interact with me. A life among the shadows in my bedroom has made it hard for me to bear sunlight. My dark ego is 1001 Nights. One of the characters in a story I told during this session comes to life as a shadow. Create a descriptor for them, ensuring it is driven to support you. And it says the shadow could, for example, fly or walk on water.
Now, you have 3 story tokens
I
because
do.
you'd regained 1.
I do.
You have to spend 1 to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. You have your shadow thing. What is any descriptor, really? You can just give it any. What is the descriptor you giving this one?
Defender.
Okay. So that gives you 3 successes automatically
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still short 4 more.
Do I not get 1 for using that also?
You don't get an extra success for it. Well, no, but that one, if you're going to get a wound, it'll take it instead. So,
Okay. Could I use my descriptor? I know over 1,000 stories. From each one, I draw a lesson from which to face dangers. I'd do anything to learn a new story.
But you can't use more than one descriptor for a defense.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So right now you're short 4.
Okay.
That would make it way too easy to deal with a challenge 7, which is the highest challenge. Oh my God, it'd be way too easy.
So right now I have 4 soma. I'll spend 1 soma for a success.
Okay. So now you have 4.
I have 3.
Well, you got 3. You got 1 more now. You have 4 automatically. Successes now because you're so
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
4 successes. You're going to roll 3 dice?
I'll roll 3 dice.
Okay.
And I got 3 successes. I got a 3 and 2 2s.
This shadow, you all see it pull itself up from the ground.
And it is the sword dancer.
And it lashes back out at the holder,
Now, Holder,
wounding it.
do not try to harm me. I am here to help you.
And because it just got wounded, from the wound, a foul vapor, reeking of rot, spreads across the entire clearing. Everyone is going to take 1 wound unless you do another defense check to 7.
I have a
I'll do
defender.
that.
Yes, you do.
Can I use my
don't-
dark ego and Punisher?
You can use your dark ego because I think you'd want to punish something that tried to hurt you.
I've also spent a soma.
Okay. So all of you have a
Um,
difficulty 7 now against this.
I don't have a mouth or a nose. Like,
Doesn't matter.
It still,
The rot will still get you.
And I did get 3 successes. So
So you're safe.
Okay.
I just realized I don't think I have a descriptor available to me because I was an acrobat last scene. And if I recall, my descriptors don't just come back to
Oh,
me.
no, you can keep using them.
Oh, I can keep using them
Yeah.
even though I've marked it off and
Yep,
stuff?
you
Okay.
can keep using them.
Still getting used to the system. Okay, then I'm definitely an acrobat.
And you only
again.
check it off if you use a negative part of that, and you didn't use a negative part. For you to get the check off on that one, you'd have to be totally divorced from reality when you did it.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah, no, I was not. I was very focused on reality.
Yeah.
So,
so
then,
you still
yeah,
get your descriptor. You get 3 successes, but you're still short 4.
I'll roll 4.
Oh, you're brave. I like you. What else is everybody doing here?
I'm taking
Uh,
it. I'm just going to take it.
Yeah.
You gonna
I
take a
will do
wound?
the same. I'll take the wound.
Okay.
Does she appear to even notice Baba Yaga?
No.
Can I use my descriptor like any respectable sorceress? I carry my trusty bag full of herbs, poisons, and all kinds of magical tools. My child appearance is often useful, but sometimes it leads others to underestimate me. I hate that.
Okay. I will let you use that descriptor. That will allow you to give you 3 automatic successes against it because you pull out possibly a thing of smelling salts or something that smells nice that will combat the rot and the foul miasma that's coming out of her. So you have 3. You're still short 4, though.
Can I use magic on my cloak to cover my nose?
You can't get another descriptor in there, so you're stuck with just 3.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna spend 1 soma
Okay.
and roll 3.
Okay.
5, 6, 4.
There you go. So you don't take anything from the foul stench. Sherazade was good. Pied Piper, you were good.
6, 5, 5, 5, 5.
You're good. The Knight and the Immortal, they take the wound. The Immortal, how does this miasma, what does this do to you?
The immortal coughs, chokes a little bit. It almost looks like the miasma is almost slightly acidic because it produces burns on my skin. And then, but he just pulls on through it. And in fact, next, I take out my worn sickle because I have a worn out sickle, a reminder of times past. And while she's distracted looking at Sherazade, I'm going to use it to lop my own hand off and take another wound. And I'm going to use my hand to try and sneak around behind her and climb up her back and grab the rag from her head.
Okay, so let's get to that in a second. The Knight with 100 heads. What does the wound do to you?
I think I just get like burns across the rest of my body.
Okay, so you can mark
outside
a
of
descriptor for yours is burned body.
okay.
That works.
And just sick of all this waiting around. I'm just going to go and attack with my sword.
So what I will do, while she's distracted, both the immortal, are you going to try to put your hand on her, or are you going to throw your hand on her? I mean, you can control it, so if you throw it.
Yeah.
Throw it at her head.
Yeah. I'll just throw it at her head. That works. I'll lop it off my wrist and just throw it at her head and see if I can make it grab onto that rag.
Okay. So we're going to go with while you're lopping the hand off, we'll do the knight's first and then yours. Knight, you're attacking her?
Yes.
With what? You have weapons. I know you have weapons.
Yeah, my sword.
Your dueling saber? Okay.
Yeah.
Difficulty is 7. But you won't take a wound if she attacks you back this time because, well...
I'm a tenacious defender. In my previous life, I always stood my ground, never retreating. Be my descriptor.
Yep. So that gives you...
3.
That'll give you 3 right off.
You know what? I'm going to spend 4 soma. I'm going automatic. And I'm going to spend a token to inflict 1 additional wound. Well, I guess depends. I'm going to roll a dice. It's a 4. So I'm 1 over. I can also spend a token to inflict an additional wound to an enemy, but only if this allows me to eliminate them. Mm-hmm. Would that be the case?
Actually, yes.
Okay, I will spend that token to eliminate the enemy. And
she only had 3 wounds. Tough challenge, not many wounds.
With this, it decapitates her.
Now, as the head goes flying off, the immortal throws his hand onto the head that's flying off, or tries to. Your difficulty is 5. If you want to roll, you don't have to. It's up to you.
I will roll. I'm gonna say I'm using the same descriptor again. My body's a tool, which I can manipulate at my will because I'm literally using my hand as a tool.
Yeah.
That gets me 3, and I am gonna roll 2.
Okay.
And I'm just grabbing that rag. And success.
As the head comes from its shoulders, the immortal's hand flies through the air, and shocking to all of you, the hand is still grasping, because as it goes and grabs onto grabs the piece of a dress, the piece of cloth that was wrapped around this creature's eyes, it continues to sail past it, holding the cloth. And then a long, heartbreaking cry rings out, first from her, and then through the forest itself. Everyone loses 2 soma from this heart-wrenching cry.
Okay.
No defense against it.
As I'm standing, my in the swing, the ferocity of the swing, my scarf would have flown off, activating my dark ego, and I will go over and get the head and place it upon my shoulders.
I have no soma left.
No, you don't. Well, as you put this head on your shoulders, it is no longer disgusting and corrupted and twisted. It is a woman's head. She was beautiful. And the body itself reverts back to that of a forest nymph.
All we had to do was get the tress. And you see tears in Sherazad's eyes.
Is this the end of the scene?
Yes, it is. It will be. But I will let him keep his head for a little bit longer.
Reason I ask is I'm going to have my hand walk back across the room over to me with dragging the dress with it.
Okay.
And then as the scene ends, the hand will slither up my body, wriggle a little bit, and twist and reattach itself, as also the viscera that flew out of me before wriggles like an inchworm across the forest floor, crawls up my leg, and then goes back inside my stomach, and everything seals up. And every wound at the end of a scene in which I activate my dark ego, I recover all wounds suffered except the first one.
So you still have a hole.
I still have a hole.
That's it.
All of my parts come back to me and go back inside.
And it's everyone here. It says right there. It's hard to watch him reassembling himself. It is horrifying.
Sherazade is not watching.
Probably smart.
Sherazade is moving towards the lake.
You all are going to set off
With
deeper?
or without this group.
Sherazade is out of Soma for now. Though you still have 2 of your story tokens, which lets you do stuff even without Soma, don't it?
It does.
The knight regards what Scheherazade had said, but does not look guilty or perturbed by it. He felt he did what he had to do.
She's not even waiting for any acknowledgement. She said what she said, and she's moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Papa's gonna follow her.
I sent you the next part of your narration.
You arrive at the center of the forest. The trees are tall and menacing, and they seem clustered around a pool of freezing black water. Any light that penetrates here looks thin and weak, as if it were an intruder in this land consecrated to darkness. Everything is still and silent.
And as you approach this water, there's nobody here, but there is a reflection in the water.
Of the girl.
There's a reflection of a nude girl sitting on the shore staring into the water. And behind her is a knight in plate armor, his shield bearing a fox with 2 tails as its symbol, both frozen as reflections. And there's a set of bare feet, muddy footprints at the edge of the water, and a set of mailed boots, plate boots, beside it, as you stare at this reflection.
She will turn towards the immortal and the knight. May I please have the crown and the dress?
I'll hand her the dress.
I will remove the tricorn and open the bottom of it for her to take the crown.
And I will take out the tabard that I collected from the knight.
Okay.
Narrator, with the head on, any memories and a descriptor that I would get by wearing this head?
Her memories are all of tending to her forest, caring for her trees. She did not see the knight. She only saw the little girl.
Sherazade will walk up to the lake and look at the reflections.
They don't move. The water doesn't ripple. It's still.
First, she presents the tabard and says, "Knight, I have a mission for you.
Me night or other night?
The night in the water.
There's no response.
I drop the tabard into the water.
And it floats on the surface, causing a slight ripple, but not enough of one that it should.
Do I know the tale of the princess in the pond?
It's vaguely familiar. You don't know from where. You should know this tale, but you don't. You know you should know this tale, but it's not there. It's a blank spot in your memories. By the way, Mortal, do you have a soma to spend?
Yep.
You have to spend it on Hugin and Moonin,
Yep.
who have decided to perch on the immortal's shoulders, staring at Sherazade. Intently.
She turns and looks at Hugin and Munin.
Shit, we've been seeing. They kind of shuffle a bit.
I don't remember this story. You're going to have to remind me.
You don't remember? In this story, you all jump in the pond
Do we?
and swim, as the princess did, down and up.
I'll stride forward and start marching straight into the pond.
It's
Would you
deep.
all like some help?
It's deep but cold.
I'll grab the tabard from the pond as I walk in.
Okay.
Is swimming required, or is that just, do we just need to get across?
No, we need to go down.
We need to go down.
Back to my initial first question. What descriptor do I get from wearing this head?
A creature of this forest. You are a creature of this forest.
Okay.
Sada's gonna just jump in the water.
Yeah, I'll go in the water.
The piper is going to look into a pocket on his shirt and take out a small little mouse, set it up in a tree. Wait here for me, Hamlin. I shall return. And then I'm going to jump in the water too.
And do you swim down?
I do.
As you're swimming down, this water is cold. It seeps all the heat from your bodies, though the immortal ignores it. When you get deeper and deeper, it's all blackness above you. And you find the bottom of this pool is filled with mud and slime. But as you reach the bottom of the pool, suddenly there's light appearing above. The water is no longer black. You're in a clear pool, and you can see the sun shining above this pool. If you swim up to it.
Yep. Swim up to the sun.
Yep.
Yeah.
As you reach up, there's sunlight as clear as the sky.
Is the naked girl there?
And I have given Sherazade
Mm.
the next part to read.
What stretches out before your eyes is the dream world that Tufstar created with her wish. It is a land of joy, happiness, and goodness. Here the days are eternal, bees never sting, and nature provides everything those who live there need. It is built on all that is good, siphoned out of the real world and remodeled according to the will of the child princess. The grass is emerald green, the sky is blue with perfect white clouds, 1,000 and 1,000 more flowers, butterflies and pollen in the air. Everything is lush and new. What was once a quagmire is a field with rolling hills, What used to be a forbidding forest is now a lush wood with flourishing trees and meadows carpeted with flowers. In the distance, the high towers of the castle reflect the sunlight.
As you break the surface of the water, you all feel like you've been reborn. Everyone can recover one wound. So for you, the immortal who only had one left or had one stuck, it's gone. The hole is repaired. Your clothes, mended, look as if new. Baba Yaga, who had fallen into the swamp, the mud is gone. Your clothes look brand new and mended. Everyone can have back 2 soma. It's almost like you rested for an interlude, but didn't. And as you look around in this strange land, between you and the castle is a tree. It is an apple tree. And there's a man in silver armor laying under this tree, propped against it, eating an apple. His sword beside him. And you can see, propped against the tree next to him, is a shield with the 2-tailed fox as its symbol.
Where else would a princess be in a perfect world but in her castle?
Of course. Scheherazade walks up to the knight.
Do you all follow?
Yes.
Hail and well met. Please grab an apple. They're quite delicious this time of year.
Thank you, knight, but instead I have a gift for you. And she takes out his tabard.
Huh. Where did you get this?
From the realm you left behind.
Well, no, it wouldn't have been. Well, maybe. I'm not aware that I left it anywhere, but I do thank you for that. Please sit down, have a seat, eat some apples, enjoy.
Where is the princess?
I think she's in the castle. She was here earlier. I talked to her and, I was going to take her back because that was what I was here to do.
And why haven't you?
Because she offered to let me stay here. And
Really?
I'll be fair. The food is good. Sun is shining. Perfect temperature, actually. And even these old wounds, all these many battle scars, they no longer pain me here.
Yes, that is because a child has taken all that was good from the world and made a new world with it. A child has condemned the real world by doing so, and a knight has failed his quest.
I don't know if I'd say I failed it. I'm
You
just
failed
delaying
the
it for
quest.
now.
You failed it.
I can bring her back any time.
Your corpse lies in the forest. You failed it.
I never fail my quest.
Prove it, then. Help us return the princess to her home.
And he looks over at the who was carrying the lance that they pulled off. You have my lance, sir. Will you
It's a
return
rather
it to
hot
me?
commodity.
Droll. But will you return my lance to me?
If I must, and I'll walk it over to him.
And when he takes it, the tip again bursts into flame and he just stares at it. I lost that fire, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Now let's go get the princess and take her home. She is a child that has run away and needs to come back home.
You need to try to persuade him. It's difficulty 5. I know you have several descriptors that'll work with that for you in particular.
Some of mine are checked off.
You can use them if they're checked. It don't matter.
Oh, okay. So basically, I will use the one, I'm actually going to do words like honey, the dark side of the art of flattery.
Okay.
where I can speak beautiful words to bring about a memory, an emotion, or a fear.
Okay.
And I've already used those words with him about him failing his quest
Okay.
and inspiring him to get motivated to actually finish his quest. And so I am going to use a story token to choose the keyword of questing.
That gives you 4 successes, and you only need 5. You're short 1.
I'll roll. And that's a 3.
And just for a few minutes, he seems to be contemplating it. You're right. I've rested long enough.
I know your story, Knight. You need to finish the job.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Come.
He looks over the rest of you. An interesting group we have here. A musician. You are no child. And he looks at Baba Yaga.
She is little grandmother.
I have not seen, well, eyes like that I have not seen since the court at the round table. The old sorcerer who was there. Baba Yaga, you know who that sorcerer is. Because you worked with him once to take away someone's memories. Merlin. He looks over. Yes, Sherazad.
She's just listening, and when he said the round table, it like triggered her memory. You are Sir Galahad.
Well, yes.
Ah, I forgot it. Now I remember.
And you're obviously a knight, but that head does not match the rest of you. And I'm going to point out, you thought the head would be gone. Something about that pool left the head on you.
Your point being?
Oh, no, I have no point. I'm just commenting on my companions here. And we have one old man. I see the weight of time bears heavy on you. Muted. He pulled a pin.
I remember many things.
Oh, perhaps. At one time we can share tales then. And you all move up to the castle.
Ahead, you see a castle bigger than any other building in the country. The roof shines with gold, while the tallest tower is like another sun shining ever so bright. Looking around you, however, you notice that everything seems to be nothing more than a false reflection of reality. Farmers at work, animals in the fields, the king and queen themselves you see at the gates of the castle all do nothing but smile and nod. They speak in a low voice and say comforting things like, "Stay here. Everything is fine. The lands are fresh and full of life." You realize that they are nothing more than simple, idealized creation of Tufstar's memories, but full of joy and warmth.
It's good to see you. Welcome. Good to see you again, gallant knight. And Sir Galahad nods at the king. We seek an audience with Her Royal Majesty. Oh, you mean little miss? She's running around behind the castle. You'll find her.
We head that way.
And as
By
you
the
go
way-
behind the castle.
Oh.
Yes.
Please.
Sorry, just a quick curiosity. The king that we just spoke to
Yes.
looks identical to her father
Looks identical to him, but this
Okay.
one speaks.
and is lively.
Kind
Just
of.
making sure.
Kind of.
And as you go around back behind the castle, you see her. The young princess is still naked, riding on the back of a giant moose. A moose you've seen before, though he was dead when you saw him. He is not dead here. Her and that moose
Have
go
s-
everywhere together.
Have some modesty, young lady. The Piper will say, not looking directly at her.
I will grab the dress from Scheherazade if I can and hold it up. You may want this.
What is that? That is rags. Why do I need that? The sky is perfect. The weather's perfect. And my friend here, he is also perfect.
Princess, you have doomed an entire world for your fantasy.
Oh, no, no. This is the world. This is all that matters.
No, this is a dream.
No. Tell her, Scott. And the moose looks at you. This is a lovely world. Stay a while with us.
I saw you as a walking corpse.
Ah, not me.
Yes, you.
I am quite lively here.
Yes, here, in a place that is fiction. I know a story when I see it.
So the immortal has showed her the dress. She
I
argued
will
that.
show her the crown. What is a princess without a crown?
Oh.
Just a silly little girl.
And she hesitates for a minute. It's not mine anymore. Why would I need that?
Because you are not a princess without a crown.
No, no, no. And she starts to cry. This world is perfect. I want to stay here. This is my world.
Why did you wish to run away?
The world was full of so much pain, so much misery, suffering.
But there was also joy.
Just wanted a perfect world. And here I have a perfect world, and you're going to take that from me.
The knight's going to step forward close to her and kneel down. Some melancholy in his voice. Some time ago, I used to have a little girl just like you. And unfortunately, she's no longer with us. But I'd give anything. He pauses. I'd give anything to have her back. It could have been easy for me to fall into fantasy, live in a world that was denial, to get rid of the pain. But unfortunately, I have to live with that. And there are people who love you, who want you to come home. It will
Young
be
lady.
okay.
The moose
Young
looks
lady.
at you all with those words. I'm dead, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
Why am I alive here?
Because she wished it so.
Because in this world, there is no death.
Because to create you in this world,
You had to die.
what? Yes.
But I'm not dead, am I? I'm trapped.
Exactly. Because you are something beyond mortality.
Narrator,
Yes.
can I use magic to show the princess like our memories of like her parents and like the townspeople that we met, the moose, like our journey?
I like it. I will allow that.
Okay.
Difficulty is 5.
I would like
I
to
will help.
tell the story, narrate it as she's showing it.
I will help by drawing on my memories and of the past and everything.
So I would
I will just
Yeah, I would like to see if maybe working in conjunction with her, if I can reduce her difficulty.
I know I can.
You know you can, but I don't, because
Yeah.
I don't have a talent that says well,
You can tell
I
the
can give her
story that
one.
you
Also
just
get-
heard.
I get +1 on my magic because I spent the XP to bump up my magic for one time.
Yep.
actually
And then
using
I'd also like to use my first descriptor. I'm a sorceress, and my magical powers allow me to do whatever I want. I need the right amount of time to cast my
if you
spells.
use my keyword of questing in the story that you show, you will get 1 additional success because I've already set up that keyword.
Okay, I'm going to charge you 0 soma for that because in this perfect world, it is a world that's perfect. That means your magic would have been perfect too, and I'm not going to charge you for using it here.
Okay.
So
Would
you get
lo-
3 plus a bonus from Sherazad, and the Immortal is also giving you his bonus from the Servant.
Would you also like an emotion to go along with all that? I'm more than happy to provide a new descriptor to the scene as well.
Responsibility.
I don't have any mechanical benefits, but one of my descriptors is the memory of my loved ones make me melancholic. I cannot forgive those who hurt families. But I want to twist that. Like, I don't want her to be someone who hurts families. So we're trying to help her. So I'm just going to hold her hand like a fatherly comfort while she's hearing this story.
Okay.
Just for narrative purposes.
And I'll spend the soma and start pushing a feeling of responsibility as I play a tune to accompany the story as well.
I think between all of you, I don't think we need to roll for that. This is a concentrated effort.
By the whole group.
And she cries, but you convince her to go. And now, for the next line of narration, Sherazad.
You take Tufstar back across the pond as her dream world dissolves. The sun returns to the lands. The madness that has infested the animals is forgotten as a passing nightmare. Scott can finally let go, sighing in relief as it is time to lay down his big head and forgive Tufstar for her transgression. Tufstar, after mourning the death of her dear friend, returns to her parents' arms filled with sadness. An uncertain future awaits her. Perhaps she will become a wise queen. Or maybe they will find her little body floating in a river, drowned as she tries to return to a dream world that no longer exists.
We have come to the end of this story. All of you except Sherazad actually hear this voice say it. My thanks to all of those who have had the patience to listen to the words of this humble storyteller. But even the most enchanting places cannot delight you when you are there against your will. And at this time, I think it is time to say goodbye to our protagonists, knowing that the tragic story of Princess Tufstar has also touched their hearts. But let the sadness at our parting be tempered by anticipation, for our heroes will be caught in another story before too long. And for everyone except Sherazad, you all realize you're awake now. And this voice you heard was Sherazad's, the weaver of tales. And for Sherazad, you hear another voice. You may think you are free, but no one escapes the one who plots in the shadows. You will tell more stories for me one day.
We shall see another night.
And this is where we're going to end our broken tales, a tale within a tale. This group of fairy tale creatures have been trapped in one of Sherazad's tales that she wove. Sherazade herself was trapped as well. And nobody in a story realizes they're in the story. So until it ended, Sherazade could not remember how this story ended or where it would lead.
She wove a tale that included herself.
And I'd like to thank my players and the viewers, and of course, happy birthday, Sherazade, my lovely wife.
Thank you.
Because I knew this stream would end on your birthday, I wanted to make sure this was a birthday tale for Sherazade as well.
Thank you.
Before I go into my normal outro stuff, I'm going to go around the table. Sherazade, what'd you think of the game and the system?
I fucking loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I will reprise this character anytime we fucking play it because Sherazade weaving tales is fucking awesome.
Not every story is going to be like this one. Some of the others, she will be actually
awake and participate.
Everyone will. You'll have to deal with the Order, who are not the good guys, even if they claim to be. But I didn't want to start with that. So, the Immortal, Calisalvo. What do you think?
This was a lot of fun. It was easy to pick up, easy to figure out how it works, you know, and just so much fun for this storytelling to try and figure out how to wrap the descriptors and the gifts into what was happening. It made it was really enjoyable. It made it very much feel more in the story.
And ultimately, it was a very dark story because most fairy tales are not what Disney makes them out to be. Poor Scut, the majestic king of the forest. He is dead. He is gone.
Yeah. So,
So
is Sir Galahad.
Actually, he came through. He is the only one who survived because you will find him in other stories. He did not die in in this one. Odd, isn't it?
Funny, considering that the knight took his head.
Mm-hmm.
The knight took a lot of things that don't seem to stick around. That's fine.
House, the knight with 100 heads. What'd you think?
I mean, I echo what other people said. Like I said, I think I'm more intrigued to try other characters. Like the bit was fun. I think being a very combat heavy character kind of limited me in a lot of ways outside of, again, the faceless bit. So I think it more makes me intrigued to try other characters if ever given the opportunity.
Oh, there's a lot of other characters, and you can also, there's rules to make your own based on any of the fairy tales you wish to tell. Baba Yaga, Emmy Lou on our Discord. Emmy Lou who? This was her first stream with us. Probably, isn't this your first stream you've been in?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of the game? We did appreciate, we loved having you here too.
Absolutely.
But what'd you think?
I love it. It's so easy to play. There's not a lot of rules that you have to remember. Yeah, it's great. I like this character a lot. There's a lot of stuff that she can do. I didn't even get to bring out my rag doll that I had a big plan for. I was going to grow it.
We will play it again. Trust that. Okay.
You also never used the keys to your strange hut that's in a tree that is always somewhere nearby, even if you don't know it.
Well, I mean, I used my hut to get my broom, but that's true. But yeah, definitely, if you guys do another game, I will definitely apply. I think it would be fun to do like maybe multiples if there's a way to do like a longer game out of it.
There is.
If it's on a Friday, I'm there.
There's longer ones, and I know I'll play this again. So
absolutely.
Maddox, our changeling storyteller, our astonishing Pied Piper without a name. He's got a name. It's called Maddox. What'd you think of the game?
I thought it was a wild, dark trip of a fairy tale, and I loved every second of it. I've always had a fascination with the story of the Pied Piper, and so the fact that he is like the first character in the fucking like list for the book I was like, oh my God, I have to. Because there's no good guys in that story.
Oh,
at
no,
all.
none.
The townspeople are shit. The piper is shit. The rats are the innocent ones just because they're
Even
rats.
the children are shit.
The
Okay.
kids suck.
The kids suck because they just went along with what their parents did.
Right.
They didn't stand up at all. Everyone in the story is
Shit.
absolutely the worst. And I just thought, all right, what does someone who comes from that sort of story behave like?
Mm-hmm.
This is brilliant.
I like the system. First of all, thank you, the World Anvil Publishing, for making this game.
Thank you.
We backed it on Kickstarter, and
I have backed the expansion that's coming out soon.
Yep.
I can't wait.
So I do want to thank them first. I like the system. I love the reaction of everybody when Hugin and Moonin show up, but then we have the Gallant Knight, which was obviously Sir Galahad.
Sir Galahad.
He was the Gallant Knight,
Mm-hmm.
the one who never failed. He was the only one
That never failed.
that never failed his quest.
Mm-hmm.
He just took a bit of a delay on this one.
Yep. But I loved that you can mix all the fairy tales, though in this one, you had some of the mix of the fairy tales, but not all of them, but a little bit of each one.
Mm-hmm.
You know? You might even argue that Scut is the Winter King
Yes.
to the Queen of the Fae.
Yes.
I was kind of wondering about Hern the Hunter.
Hern, Keranos. Yeah.
He's the king of the forest, and I would call him the Winter King in my version of events. The mortal man who gets turned into the majestic king of the forest
Yes, that story. That's a brilliant fucking tale.
to be the queen's consort,
Mm-hmm.
the Fae Queen's consort. But I do thank everyone for being here for this. It was a fun game. Please join us on our Discord. As Baba Yaga down there, Lou said, we'd post up a casting call, as she was one of the people who wanted to be in it. And we're like, hey, we haven't played with her before. Fuck yeah, let's do this. Boom, she's playing with us. How you enjoying coming back to role-playing games after not getting to play in a long time?
It's a lot of fun. I didn't realize I missed playing Vampire until I started watching you guys. And then I was like, oh man, all my friends that I played with are long gone. They've moved away. And so this has been fun.
I took a 20-year break from all role-playing games before starting up Vampire in February of 2019 and this channel of September of 2019.
Because I saw a game and said, I want to play that.
She saw LA by Night and said, I want to
That's
play
what
that.
I saw.
She saw that, and then we saw Silence of Shadows by Roll For It.
Mhm.
And I said, wait a minute, I could storytell and we could stream it.
Mhm. Here we are.
And here
almost
we are.
5 years later.
Yep. So we do casting calls on the Discord. We don't have any open right now, but if you're on our Discord, you'll see them pop up from time to time, and it's your chance to play with us. We like to play with new people. That's the fun of streaming like this, is we can play with new people all the time. If you want to catch back episodes like part 1 of this series, or Kansas City, Dark Ages Vampire, Windy City, which is our finished Chronicles, Demon, Wraith, Changeling, Bluebeard's Bride. Oh dear God, we've got so much content.
Monster Hearts 2, Monster of the Week, even though it's Monster of the Month for this. Jesus, we have too many games.
Yeah,
We have
Star
lots
Wars,
of
dude.
content.
lots of
Enjoy.
content, and I already know what the next thing I'm going to be posting up a casting call for. Though I have to figure out when I can run it. Eclipse Phase is the next one I'm running because I love the philosophical
He's
aspects.
been dying to run a sci-fi game.
Well, but the sci-fi is not important.
Right.
It's sci-fi, but it's sci-fi done right, where don't worry about the technology. We don't care about the technology. It'll be a philosophical game about what makes you, you. What makes a person. I love it. But all of our back episodes, trust me, we've got so much shit on YouTube. But if you want Call of Cthulhu or D&D 5e, go to Ishvel's channel. You see the link on our Twitch chat. If you're watching on YouTube, go to our channels that we promote, the channels part of YouTube, and you'll see Ishvel is one of the channels listed that, we tell people to go check out. Because check out Ishvel. If you want to get studio merch, we have studio merch. Obviously, we don't have Broken Tales merch. But we've got other merch. You got to sign in if you want to see some of the R-rated merch, because we have Camp Wish a Motherfucker Would Canceler t-shirts. For those that watched Windy City, you'll know where that came from. Good old Lamar's, he was the camp counselor of Wish a Motherfucker Would, because he planned to unleash whoop ass anytime somebody jumped. That was just how that is. If you want to support the players, so you're aware, bits and donations go to the players. And we did have some bits and donations come in tonight. So players, you get a little something. I'll add it up and let you know how much you've got from the 2 streams. But it's a way for you, the viewers, to give to the players. Mom and I only take the taxes out of that. I wish we wouldn't have to, but we lose enough money on here, and taxes are bad enough on us without pulling the tax money out of it. Trust me, Uncle Sam loves to hurt us, because this streaming income is all 1099. Yeah, that little bastards. If you want to support the channel, subscribe on Twitch. They'll take half. Fuck them. You can give us a coffee, or if you're watching on YouTube, best way to support the channel is watch on YouTube. Like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. That's all free. And it all drives us up on the search ratings, which means more people will find our channel, which means more people will discover our content. And it's an endless cycle. So you know.
Buy
that.
Mama a birthday coffee.
Yeah. You can get Mama a coffee. So, yeah, that's all I have to do for my outro part. Now Mama can give the schedule.
All right.
And yes, they are playing tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Because I always have to check, because I never know. All right, so tomorrow, first off, thank you all for joining us for this, our special Mama's birthday stream of
2-shot.
Mama's birthday 2-shot of Broken Tales. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, we have our amazing keeper, Dr. Tiss. She and her investigators in Call of Cthulhu 7E London Esoteric Society are getting into all kinds of shenanigans. You want to join them. You absolutely do. Because, basically, yeah, they're going insane, I'm sure. And there's lots of just chaos. And yeah, you need to join them at 3 p.m. tomorrow if you're not doing anything this Saturday. And then, of course, coming up over the next week, our next stream is actually on next Friday. That is when I will be back as Cat Herder with the guys of my group, playing Monster of the Month, which is actually based on Monster of the Week roleplay game. And this time, the guys are going to Japan. So you'll want to tune in 8 p.m. Eastern on Friday for that. I'm sure it'll be fun, with people like Ravno Sarkhan, Antera, Red Bin Powers. Yeah, it's going to be chaos, and it's going to be glorious, and I love it. Shenanigans, Antera says.
I will pistol whip the next person who says the word shenanigans, okay?
Shenanigans.
That's a good Super Trooper reference, If you know Super Troopers, you know the joke.
Yeah. So that's what we have on schedule.
Yep. And so you're aware Kansas City comes back?
On the 7th.
On the 7th.
So not next Friday, but the Friday after.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Changeling Season 2 starts on the 15th. Or no.
Indeed.
Not the 15th. Is it the 15th? Hang on. No, it's the 12th, isn't it?
No, the 19th.
19th. Okay, something like that.
The 19th.
It's coming back
Scared
next
me for
month.
a second.
Yeah, 19th.
19th.
Oh, no, you get it early. Come on, jump back in it.
19th.
You just be you. There'll be no class.
Yeah.
Or there'll be no cast because didn't know they're playing.
There's no class either.
No.
I mean, if people want to watch,
We're all in an unseelie court now, so no, there's no class.
Well, as anyone who watches our movie trailers at the start of our stream would know, we're adultish around here.
Yeah, adultish.
Content not approved by anyone.
No.
Just so you know. And as always, everybody, I have to say, mental health. It's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. I want you to take your mental health seriously, and I want you to take the mental health of others seriously. Please check in on those around you. Make sure they're okay. I know a lot of people aren't. And it's, it's understandable. But sometimes all it takes is a kind word, a friendly voice, somebody reaching out to help that person out, to show them, there's a little compassion left in this world. Let's be fair. And if you suffer from mental health issues, the first thing I want to tell you is it's okay to not be okay. Many of us suffer from mental health issues, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that. And I want you to reach out to your own support network. if you're going through hard times. And I know not everybody feels they can reach out to their support network that for whatever reason. In which case, I want you to reach out to these numbers that are in text or in chat right now on Twitch. You can have a professional on the other end of the line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That'll help you through it, to be a lifeline for you. And if you're not in the U.S. or you happen to be watching this on YouTube, which means you don't see the Twitch chat, I want you to go to findahelpline.com, put in your country of origin, and you will get the helplines for your country. Because, look, everybody, mental health is health. We want you to take care of yourselves. So please do that. And now I can let my lovely wife on her birthday give her portion of the outro.
I almost pulled a Ben. Y'all know my spiel. Take care of your mind. Take care of your body. Okay. Get vaccinated for things you need to get vaccinated for, even your fucking tetanus shot. Okay. For real. Tetanus is a bitch. So literally take care of your body too. Make sure that if you have primaries coming up, a few states still have their primaries outstanding. You need to make sure you are registered. You need to make sure that if you are actively registered, that your registration is still active and that it is still correct with its party affiliation, because that can be an issue for real. For real. So double check your registration. Also make sure you intend to either vote by mail, in person, early voting, whatever, come November. It is very fucking important that everyone fucking turns out for real. All of our U.S. House of Representatives are up for election this November. We need to turn the House blue to actually get some fucking work done. Because they ain't doing shit. They took how long to pass a fucking budget, and now we're about to come up on the next fiscal year, and they still ain't talked about a budget yet? So really, come on now. We need to start getting some people in that can actually govern, okay? And of course, president's up for election. Yeah. Please, let's not have another fucking circus with Trump. Thank you. That's all I'm going to say. Because, yeah. But anyway, said with love.
And as we're ending this stream, it's time now. Mama and I can finally eat our dinner because we've got a pork shoulder brisket or pork shoulder butt that I smoked all day today. That's waiting for us to be turned into pulled pork.
That's Mama's birthday barbecue.
So we can have some barbecue after stream.
How dare you make me hungry?
Oh, it got finished right before we started getting on our costumes.
Oh, God, it was smelling so good, too. I'm like, motherfucker.
And I'm like, it'll sit there covered in foil and resting until we get done, and then we can go eat it.
And now Mama's going to drink.
Yep.
Fortunately, I had barbecue just before the stream, so I'm...
unfortunately, unless I
Bitches, a lot
started
of
the
you.
night before, you can't get a good pork shoulder slow cooked. I didn't start it the night before, but it got done right before stream. So next time I'm going to have to start it before bed and then have that thing cooking real slow. So
Anyway.
So good night, everybody.
Good
We will
night,
see you
y'all.
next time.